Alright, hello. Today, I'm gonna show you one of the craziest things that I have ever trusted and I have ever tried since all of the years I've been playing Wisp. And I've been trying to gun buff Wisp to the best of my abilities, and I think I have found the most perfect, the strongest gun buffing build that you can possibly do. And I'm gonna showcase it to you guys because I think it's genuinely insane. It is unbeatable and it does so much damage it feels like you're playing Siren. The build itself is from this Wisp, and it features these red primary status chance swords. Now, primary status chance is not a very appealing stats to many people. A lot of people just look at crit chance and they're like, oh my god, crit chance, we need crit chance. But status chance breaks some weapons incredibly well, and it breaks them to a degree that is unreal for a lot of weapons. And these have opened up a lot of possibilities for weapons to become incredibly overpowered, and I'll show you why. So Wisp herself has a specific augment called Critical Surge. This augment, despite being a Breed Surge augment, is only usable for Wisp herself, because you have to use Breed Surge on the reservoir, which is your first ability. In case you don't know how Critical Surge works, when you place a mode down a reservoir, you get this circle right here when you are far enough away from it. So if I move very close, it's gonna disappear, but if I'm far enough away, it's gonna appear, and when I press 3 while looking at it, I'm gonna teleport to it. So what this augment does is it helps by lowering the energy cost of the ability itself by 50% of its original cost. So if I use Breed Surge on a flower, it's gonna cost 39 instead of 77 energy, and it's gonna give me 250% primary weapon critical chance. And you can pair this with the fact that we are getting primary status chance from these swords, which is really oppressive. And I've tested a lot of weapons with this. This originally was an idea that I wanted to do because Stahlta is extremely overpowered, and I just wanted my status chance to go above 100% on Stahlta, which I'm gonna showcase right now how it looks like. So this is just me with a Sarge, nothing else. And as you can see, the blast procs are, well, 15 million are quite nice. They are something, definitely. And you know, you can make it even crazier, because if you have stacks and you do this and then you teleport to it and then you spawn the enemies again, now you get the extra crit chance, and now it red crits, and you get 27 million instead, which is pretty crazy. Or 218 million even without priming. So, you know, it can get pretty wild if you do Stahlta. It is very strong, and any blast build is obviously gonna be very strong with this setup. But that was my original idea. But when I kept testing this, I realized this is broken. This is way too broken. This is way out of the proportions and the ideas that I had initially, and it probably will become my main Wisp build when it comes to doing some short missions or to try to gun buff to the best of my abilities and not care about tankiness. So the build itself, as I showcased, is this one, in case you want to see. Arcane Rage is a must-have, but this Arcane will either be Acceleration or Tempo. And it's Acceleration or Tempo depending on if you're using a shotgun or a regular rifle. So we're gonna showcase a regular rifle first with this build, the Tenet Glaxion. If you have not seen my Glaxion video for this setup, I will showcase it in the description. The gist of it is that you need a viral ribbon, rank 0, so you get as much weighting on heat as possible. And normally this is around 90% status chance, I think, but now it's 173.5. With primary crux, this jumps way over to 100%, and the heat procs go crazy. But it got way worse when I realized that if you add a Darzakavat into the mix and you play with it, So it's already doing like crazy damage, but if I get Cat's Eye... What? Cat's Eye? No? Okay. He's not feeling it today. Anyways. Cat's Eye is a buff that gives you a flat 60% crit chance, so... Even if it's already so overpowered, the fact of the matter is that if Kavadza procs Cat's Eye, which he consistently does if he can attack enemies, I guess he cannot, which is why he's not proccing it, you can orange crit with this Tenet Glaxion, which is funny because this Tenet Glaxion has 0 crit modes. 0 crit modes. Nothing for crit. It's pure status and it's pure hit. But you see, the amount of damage that it deals because of the puncher, because of the extra beam length from Sinister Reach, is pretty nutty, and it feels more like a Riven modded Torid than a Glaxion, especially in this form. It was already as strong, if not stronger, than the Torid, especially on those higher levels, but now even on those low levels, the heat procs hurt so much that, as you can see, now we get the orange crits because Cat's Eye actually procced. So yeah, quite a bit of orange. And 26 million hit proc is pretty nice. So in general, there are a lot of weapons that can benefit from a build like this, and a build like this goes absolutely crazy. Regardless of how you use it, what mission you're in, you can just go nuts with it. So that's Glaxion for you. A lot of weapons that you can imagine work amazingly well with this, and I'm not gonna showcase all of them because this video will take way too long for you guys to notice, but I am gonna showcase some interesting ones that I found out. First of all, Paris. So Paris Prime is a weapon with already ludicrous high status chance. With this weapon, it gets to a whopping 462%, which is absolutely crazy. But this is not even the best part. I will showcase it like this, but it's not even the best part about the whole thing. So if we use the Paris, this is modded for cold because the Incarnon gives heat, so it becomes blast. And it does this after, which is pretty epic. Alright, good. What is the epic part about it? Well, the epic part about it is that this is the rifle or the primary weapon with the highest base status chance of the entire game, which is normally, I think, 80%. With these swords, it's already at 230% before you even mod it. So you go ahead, you go all in on status chance. I don't actually need this, I can make this rifle aptitude, but it doesn't really matter. And you get this 726.5% status chance. Does this work in practice? Is it a build that is actually able to be used? If you go acuity instead of critical delay, then yes, 100%. But that's not what I need it for. What I need it for is because I can take a Kubro or a Predacide now, which is why what I'm getting immediately tomorrow is a Sunika Kubro. I'll probably have it as the video go out. And you add a special mode on your clothes called Mecha Overdrive, which takes 60% of your primary weapon status chance and it adds it to the companion directly. Which means my companion now has 543.4% status chance and 72% crit chance. Mind you, the Pharaoh Predacide is not even the best companion to do this, which is why I'm trying to get a Sonika. But I'm gonna showcase how this looks like anyway, because I'm sure a lot of people are wondering after seeing the stats. So with this, the Predacides does that. It is pretty strong. It is pretty strong. Obviously, if you have a Sonika Kubro, that's gonna absolutely one-shot with its ability. It's really insane. I've already seen it, which is why I wanted. I showed this to a friend, and they showcased Sonika Kubro for me. But yeah, a very, very overpowered combination here with the Paris Prime without even using the weapon, and just using it as a stat stick for your pet's clothes to get ridiculous status chance onto your pets. 543% status chance onto your companion is not balanced. There is no reason for this to exist in the game, but it does, and I love it. I think it's time to showcase some of the more neat stuff, yeah? So I would also showcase the Boar Incarnon. I wish I had it, I sadly don't. But first of all, I'm gonna showcase the Strun, because I think this is equally as funny. Let me change Arcane Tempo here before I forget. And then showcase. So my normal build, already, first of all, it has above 100% status chance with 48 multi-shot on its primary fire, which is crazy. But its secondary fire has 1129% status chance. That is not normal. That is definitely not normal. When I tried to go to the maximum amount of status chance that I could, and I reached around 1300%, which I can showcase real quick, I guess. 1348%. Obviously, you know, this is my normal build for this run, and it actually didn't work that well. But what works really well is this build. So instead of modding it normally, we mod it for as much heat damage as possible. It's still over 1000% status chance. Look at that heat percentage. You get a 579% chance to inflict heat damage onto your enemy. It's not even funny. At this point, this is not even funny. This is before multi-shot, obviously, so 5 to 6 instances of hit on one multi-shot, and the Incarnon form has 4.2 before my Riven is stacked, or before my Galvanized mode is stacked, sorry, and also primary Cruxes. So it goes even further beyond. So I'm sure all of you want to see this in practice, so let me just showcase that. This one is one of the more funny ones, to be fair. Look at this. Now you might be wondering why I was shooting for so long, but it's because this weapon has a specific mechanic to reload bullets into its magazine. But its Incarnon, I think, is a bit more funny. So the Incarnon is more funny because I will showcase that if we use it and we shoot one person, they get 79 hit procs to even 100 hit procs at times. Right now I'm not getting them, but I've seen over 100. And those hit procs hurt quite a lot, especially when Roar is applied. So 3.3 million right there without anything, but the hit procs themselves hurt. So here is the evolution. On-hit target with electricity status, 40% chance to restore 1 round in the magazine. You may say, where is the electricity status coming from? Well, the magnetic status, when you hit an Eximus unit, it does a electric proc once the overguard of said Eximus unit is down, which is what's bringing that up. But as you can see, even though the Strun Prime technically has higher status chance because it's on the Incarnon form and not its primary fire, it doesn't actually increase the Pharaoh clause as much as we'd like. That's fine. Let's switch back to the Adarza Kavat, which is giving the extra Christians, and showcase the Incarnon form one more time to try and get a bit better results, because I want to see those 100 hit procs from one shot that I did see the other day. I mean, if they didn't die, that would help. There we go, 102 hit procs. 101 hit procs, 11 million damage on the hit proc. So obviously, if that does that much with one shot and it suits the way it does, that can be pretty epic. That can be pretty epic, yeah? So yeah, that's Strun Prime, one of the craziest one. Another crazy one that I had to figure out a build for was the Felarx, and this might become one of my favorite shotguns to use from now on. Just because, you know, I figured out this build and whatever. So special thanks to Gamble for showing me this idea in the first place, way back a few months ago when I was on his stream and he actually showed me this. But, you know, I kind of found out a way to take advantage of it. So it has this evolution which says on punch through 3 enemies plus 70% ammo efficiency. For some reason, although most ammo efficiencies are multiplicative with other ammo efficiency stuff, this one is additive with other ammo efficiency stuff. Which means that if you do this and you have primary crux, as long as that procs, the Felarx has infinite ammo. Then the Felarx has this evolution, which says reload increases fire rate by plus 10% per shell. So you would know right away that I would go primed ammo stock to get the most out of my magazine capacity and get it up to 16. The end result. Because, you know, you have to prep it. Obviously, you have to empty your magazine in order to get the stacks going. You see on the top right, it's stacking. Alright, and we get out 16. That's 160% extra fire rate. Pretty good. For some reason, I can't... Okay, there we go. So. Now it's procced, and yeah. Now we have an infinite ammo orange critting Felarx. It's still going. It finally stopped. And you know, as long as you can find the good hallway, you're gonna be able to keep the stacks pretty easily onto actual missions. Finding 3 people to shoot one behind the other, especially on Stahlpath, is not hard to do at all unless you're playing on a public squad. So this is definitely something I will be trying a lot more, and I am so glad I actually found or tested this enough to make this build work, because I tried so many things and the only thing I managed to figure out that works consistently was magnetic electric, because of the combination of magnetic doing the electricity status effect once a max shield or overguard has, depleted completely. So yeah, the Incarnon form is also pretty good as it reaches 94% status chance, but I think infinite ammo, this thing right here is just way too good to give up. 2 more weapons that I will showcase. They are both rifles. One of them, surprisingly, will be the Torid. So for the Torid, because I'm sure I will get a lot of comments that will say, oh, but it's the Torid, it does this anyway. Well, I will showcase real quick what it does with my actual Wisp, and you tell me if it does this anyway, okay? So this is the build. Obviously I have no Torid driven, but this is the build that I got, and the Evo is the 15% status chance, 15% crit chance. So I will go ahead, use my buff, but not use roar on both tests. Sounds fair? Good. So this is what it looks like on my normal Wisp build. Havat buff has procced. So this is even better than it could have been normally. And we're not able to kill all the enemies with just one mag. It doesn't do that crazy of damage. It's good, it's decent, but it's not that crazy. Now let's go to the actual Wisp build. I will do the same thing. I will use third ability augment, the swords, but not roar. Anything but roar. And you will see the difference, how big it is. So now, they die this quick, and it red quits. It's a big difference. This is like, it's like I added a Riven mode onto the weapon, and maybe more. If I do with roar, that's Riven mode Torid, basically. That is basically like having a Riven modded Torid with a gold roll. So this build can actually push Torid to the best of its abilities and make it absolutely overpowered, which is pretty neat. Because I always thought Torid was a very, good weapon, but also quite overhyped for what it actually is. But with this build, you can actually make it do what people are proposing that it can do in theory, which normally it can't with just a normal gun buffer frame. But this gun buffer frame is so strong that it can do this. So this is pretty neat. This is actually pretty neat to see. And last but not least, the most powerful weapon by far that I tried while testing this, because you can see my arsenal is quite big, right? You can see we have all of these weapons right here. Obviously, some weapons down here that I haven't taken a look at, like the Aphentis, the Ambassador. These weapons I haven't actually tested, but everything from here onwards, with the exception of Mutalis Quanta, I have in fact tested with this build. Some really good ones were the Ignis Wraith, the Aeolac, the Coda Sporothrix, Queller. Acceltra is crazy, and it's an Acceltra main's wet dream is what it is, so I'll showcase this one as well, because I'm sure people would ask for that, since it's such a popular weapon. Any bow with just blast is absolutely OP. Even Tigris does well. You just build it for slash and it gets like 20 to 30 slash procs per hit. Feels like old Tigris Prime pre-nerfed and everything. It's just, everything is super good from here on out. But one weapon that stood above the rest because it was just so overpowered. So overpowered. Like, I could not believe my eyes when I shot this weapon with this build. This is not normal. I understand, Coda Synapse is a new weapon. I have a Raven, but because it's a new weapon, it doesn't give too much, okay? Like, sure, it gives, what, 30% crit chance, 3 multiplier, and some damage. It's okay. It's not bad. But it's very low dispositions. If the disposition was like 0.7, 0.75, this would be even better. So, you can definitely get something here, like if I put Bane of Grenier, for example, this is probably gonna be even better. But look at it. No, seriously, look at it. Tell me this isn't absolutely stupid. It touches them and they explode, they disintegrate. They are removed from existence. Look. You touch them and they just... The fuck? What is this? When I first shot this weapon, I couldn't believe in my eyes how strong it actually was. Like, I knew the Coda Synapse was good. I've made a video on the Coda Synapse and I've called it good because it's a beam with innate punch through and hella good stats. But I was not expecting this when I tested it. Oh my god, this is not normal. This is not normal. What is this? What is this? Where is the balance? Where is the balance? Where is it? Where have we taken it? This is something else. This is definitely something else. I swear. Yeah, sure, it's maxed out, the weapon, but so were the other weapons. The Glaxion doesn't do this. It may kill, it may have the procs, but what is that? What is that? I swear, it's not normal. So here are some cool stats to see. Well, the Sporothrix 200% status chance. The Comorix with this build almost 200% status chance. You know, Kuva Ogris with over 160% status chance. Kuva Zara with over 100% status chance. It's not even like, it doesn't have any status chance mode besides Hammer Shot. Like, it's based at 89%. So, you know, yeah, it's pretty good, you know, it's really nice. The Bonico has over 200% on a crit build. The Kuva Com, oh yeah, I can show this one as well because it's funny. It's a mid grinder, maybe. 496%. Actually, nah, don't show it because I have to spot the thing. But 496% before any mods, 258% status chance. You see what I mean? These shards are absolutely nuts. And because of the build, the Kuva Com itself, with this exact build that doesn't have any crit chance, was able to red crit. Because of Vigilante supplies and being an orange crit weapon. I was seeing red crits on this. It's, yeah. Do whatever you want with this information. The Wisp build is robust completely. It's extremely insane. And obviously, for subsumes, so far I have Roar, Zara's Whisper, and energized munitions. And also I don't have prime sure-footed on the other slots because I put it on just today, which is kind of funny. But alas, let's showcase what the Acceltra looks like with this build, because I'm sure a lot of people would be wondering what the Acceltra does on a monster build like this. And yeah, this is with Merciless, by the way. Yeah, it's pretty good. The buff is over. You see, we went down to mainly yellow crits again, but yeah, it's just a really overpowered build, this one. Only bad thing I can say is that you're limited to primary weapons, but you know what? If you want to do secondary weapon Wisp platforming, you should just take this Wisp build with these swords, a secondary or arcane hotshot, sorry, arcane right here. Because yeah, put arcane precision, use your favorite hounds, and then you can go ham as well, you know? That works just fine. See, I have a Wisp for everything. It's great. It's great. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 Wisps. Soon to be 18, I guess. I need to remove Mirage from this line. She needs to go down a bit, yeah. I think it's only fair. But yeah, very, very strong builds. Doesn't even have energy issues, to be honest, because I've tested it a lot. The actual energy drain from the third ability, because it's halved, even at this low efficiency, is not bad at all to do. Like, look, I'm at 161 energy, 122, 83, 45. Like, it's a lot. Wait, why wouldn't I? Oh yeah, right. Small bug with this. Because it costs 79 energy, it does drain 39, but look at this. Even if I do have above 39 energy, it won't allow me to cast it. So this is something to keep in mind with the augment itself. You need to have the base energy of the ability to cast it, even if it's only gonna cost 50% of the actual amount. So don't get baited by that. Besides that, even at this low efficiency, this does not have any energy issues whatsoever. So, really good. And you're, well, absolutely insanely overpowered. Yeah, this is an overpowered Wisp build to use, 100%. And any weapon you can think of on the primary section category, any of your favorite weapons, if it's good, if it's bad, I don't know, you can use anything. You can use the Alterno, because this thing will be good. It has a base status chance of 86% with this build. It will be good. Trust me. So, yeah. I will put some more Wisp content in the near future, so if you want to see that and you want to see the rest of my Wisp builds, please do subscribe. It does help me out a lot. And also there is a giveaway that's happening right now that is a few videos before, but I'll also add that in the description along with the Tenet Glaxion video so you guys can be informed better. I'm sorry this is a video that is only in Simulacrum, but I think Simulacrum is the best way to showcase as many weapons for this build as possible without wasting your time and keeping it simple and nice. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching another video of mine. I'll leave Discord and Twitch links in the description, and I'll see you on the next one.